The Vision and the Scarlet Witch, issue number 2. That's right, folks. Vision is now looking a little bit more like his current MCU counterpart. We also have the Grim Reaper being a supporting character in this book, kind of, who is, I think, going to be in that Wonder Man TV show. Weird that they haven't marketed that yet. But then again, Ironheart just dropped the time that this video is coming out, and if I wasn't doing this for a living, I don't think I'd know that. I don't know, White Vision's a fun concept in theory. I don't really want to see it in present-day Marvel, but there's enough of a twist in here where I think it's kind of interesting. So this issue opens up where we left the last one. Scarlet Witch turned Vision into the White Vision. He goes through a whole range of emotions, freaking out, getting really mad at her, and Wanda's like, okay, you gotta calm down before you hurt yourself or someone else. So, while Vision is having his fit, Wanda pulls him through reality and dimensions, taking him across time and space, until they find a singular dimension where there's nothing but like green pastel colors, where Vision can experience the full emotional spectrum he needs to. So he lashes out in anger, he starts to cry, he starts to barter. It's everything. You understand it until he is stoic and ready to compromise with what he's feeling. So he asks Wanda if it's over. She's like, yes, for now. He's tired, so they head back home, and he sees his home, the home that he lives in, and he's like, oh no, I broke it. It's broken. It's just like my wife and my son. Everything is so broken. I break everything. I mean, this is kind of a fun idea to play with. We'll get to like what that is in a second here, like what they're doing with Vision currently. He asks Wanda if like, did you bring me back from the dead? And she goes, no, I didn't. Like, you were near death. I kind of just halted the process of you dying, and now it was more like a rescue mission as opposed to a resurrection. So you are kind of here because there's some magic and chaos infused in you, keeping you in like this one type of location. She recounts the time that they last had him in this state, which is from a while ago in an old Avengers run. And he's like, yes, back then I had no emotion, but now I feel like I have too much emotion. And that's kind of interesting, you know? A little too much emotion going on. What does that mean specifically? Well, you have a daughter, so I couldn't leave her without a father, so I did this stuff from what the Grim Reaper did to you, counteracted the magic, and when you were the White Vision, there was an absence of color, meaning there was no emotion coming through you, but you are of white light, and white light contains multitudes of colors, if not all colors, so I guess maybe the fact that you have everything inside you means that you can feel every emotion on a larger scale than what you normally could. Which is kind of a fun idea, you know? If we're going to do the White Vision again, where there's no emotion in him, let's go the complete opposite direction and give him too many emotions. So while he processes that, he's trying to figure out what made the Grim Reaper do this stuff. Like, his vendetta should be with, like, his brother, but I guess it's more to the person that killed him, which was Vision's wife, Virginia. So Wanda uses some of her hex magic, and they resurrect the memories of the dead corpse that is buried in the yard. And I'm like, yep, this is exactly what I want to see from these two characters. This is it. Like, this is literally it. You have nothing else to show me. What do we got? So Vision is kind of uncomfortable with the way things are operating. The things, including seeing his wife and the stuff of the Grim Reaper and Wanda in this weird state where things are a little more intense. So that's exciting. He's just experiencing so much all around him at every single moment now. Anyways, we get a little bit of a history lesson as to where the Grim Reaper has been for a bit. He was cursed to Valhalla, but he had some unfinished debts that he had to pay off. That is apparently from a Jane Foster book from who knows how long ago when she was the Valkyrie. I mean, she's still the Valkyrie, but she hasn't had a book in a while. So they let him go to play with his debts, and the Reaper drifted into the endless, utter dark, calling to Logorith, or Leogorith. I don't know if you say his name. Anyways, it's the servant that the Grim Reaper works for now, and he's going to bring souls to like this old demon through the grave realm, when in his death doors bring people there, and that's who he's serving, so he can find his power in a more magical way as opposed to just being a guy in a weird costume. Interesting. I guess it is an alien character, this Legorath or whatever, because Vision's like, it's as I feared, the many-angled star spawn. What does that mean? Is it like a Shumagorath character? I mean, it's got Gorath in the name, so maybe it's like that. Is this their way around saying Shumagorath? They're not going to use Gargantos like in the movies and the toy lines now? I don't know. Hard to say. Either way, let's go to the nearest one of Death's door, and we're going to find our way in there to fight off these characters and see what's going to happen inside. So they head to Washington, D.C., where there's a door waiting there. It's calling out to all these people, and there is a doorman there, and it's Death's doorman, and he's like a guy in a pink suit with a skull. I mean, it's so obvious at this point, I don't feel like I have to say it, but the colors are just so vibrant. Like Wanda's cape, cloak, whatever thing that's flowing from her hair, it's so interesting to look at. And Vision's design of like all the colors just like tinted on him is really cool. But just the shading on like this doorman, he's got like really good purples and blues on the skulls. It's really interesting. So Vision is just like, all right, what are you doing here? This is stupid and wrong. You shouldn't be manipulating these people like this. This is assault. This is destruction of property. You are leading these people on to something they can't have. And Vision's like almost lashing out in like this very destructive anger. And Wanda kind of calms him down before he gets a little too dangerous in killing this innocent man. Well, innocent's a harsh word to say. He's probably not innocent. They have some self-reflection before they decide they're going to walk into the door, which is really nice. You know, Vision's in a weird state. Wanda's in the best state she's ever been in. Just two people with a very storied history. And it's Vision being like, you are somebody who's helped me through so much, and you are the possibility of something better. And like, let me go through this, Wanda. If there's death waiting for me, at least let me be the person who doesn't come out of this. And she's like, no, we're family. We're going to do this together or we don't go at all. And he's like, Wanda, I don't deserve you. And she's like, maybe, but let's go. So they hold hands and they walk through the door. I like it. You know, I think, and I said this last issue too, talking about these characters. This is what I like about storied characters in comic books. You get so much more interesting relationships when you have the entire history. I don't really want Wanda and Vision to be married again. I like the idea that they have a shared history together, both as Avengers and lovers. And they are comfortable enough in like who they are as individuals where they can go on adventures like this and have it feel like old friends or old acquaintances coming together to do something grandiose. I think that's really cool. So they walk inside the door that leads to the grave realm, and they see just blank faces there. It's like a weird place that Wanda's trying to like figure out, and she can't really get like a finger on it and figure out what's going on. Vision's trying to compare it to like the House of Ideas he went into in like No Road Home, but that was like more human spirit. This feels like the opposite of like people and things that exist. And then they hear a voice, a secret house of death, and it's like, oh no. But even if it is, I knew you'd come. And you're like, what? Who is that? Who's calling out to me? What is that name? And that is when we see emerging from the grave realm, who is just walking around, is Vision's son, Vin. And he's like, hello, father. And that's where the book ends. Pretty cool. Pretty fun. I wasn't expecting this book to be so much more focused on the Vision, but I think that works for like what we're doing here. This whole run from Steve Orlando has been very Wanda focused, which is important because the character needed this, maybe more than the Vision needed this. I just think, you know, because we did the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver book, and that wasn't really about Quicksilver. I just wasn't expecting this to be about the Vision. It's his son. It's his dead wife. It's the guy that his wife killed. And Wanda's just kind of guiding him along this journey that he needs to go on. It's exciting and it's cool, and I do enjoy it. This book is still really interesting. It's one of my favorite things that Marvel is doing right now is having Steve Orlando just go crazy with Wanda Maximoff for a minute. And this book is no exception. I love the way that Vision looks now. While I'm not the biggest fan of the white Vision, if somebody were to make an action figure that's got this tint to it or this color to it, I would buy it because I think it looks great. So, The Vision and the Scarlet Witch, issue number 2, I am going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.